Tammy Blanchard wowed TV audiences in Life with Judy Garland, Me and My Shadows. She was sexy at Gypsy Rose Lee in Gypsy, opposite Bernadette Peters, and now she's back as sexpot Hedy La Rue in How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tammy Blanchard.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Paul.
How are you? You are right. Oh, first of all, I want to say you can use your Jersey accent as much as you want.
Okay.
I love a Jersey accent, so you can just let it rip.
Okay, good.
You are a Jersey girl.
I am a Jersey girl.
Bayonne.
Bayonne, New Jersey.
You know, I love Bayonne.
Why?
Because when I first moved to New York, one of the first people I worked with was Nancy from Bayonne.
Okay.
And she was like one of my first like aggressive Jersey, women I met. So I always think of Bayonne.
That's great.
You've lived in Bayonne basically your whole life.
Yes.
And you're still there.
I was born in Jersey City, and we moved to Bayonne in 2nd grade.
Which is like 5 minutes away.
It's 5 minutes away. They say Bayonne is like, what do they call that? The Twilight Zone. You never get out. You can leave, but you always end up coming back. And that's how it is with me and my family.
So you love still being there?
I love being there. I have, my mom is a child of 13 children, and they're American Indians. So they're crazy and wild, and they scream when they talk to each other, and they're mad. And if I didn't have life with them, it would just be too boring, and I wouldn't be able to take it. So I stay home with my family.
Bayonne is it's real like working class Jersey town, right? Mm-hmm. Is that who your family is?
That's who my family is. My mom was a single mom. And she left my dad when we were 10, so she basically started with nothing, raising 3 kids on her own.
Wow.
And she started a cleaning service. And she did that for 13 years, and it was hard work, but she did it. And I remember watching her, she would take us to the factories or the schools where she would clean the windows and the floors. And I just remember wishing at night one day that she won't have to do that anymore. I mean, she would come home and her knees would be red and sore, and but she went out there and she did it. And a lot of people in my town are like that. They come from nothing, and they struggle, and they make a living for the kids and the people they love. And it's just, that's who I am.
So a girl from Bayonne wins an Emmy. I mean, that's amazing. You were amazing as Judy Garland.
That's Neil Merrin and Craig Zadan.
Yeah.
That's who that is.
They weren't on screen.
But they put it together. I mean, I went on that audition for the first time, and then the second callback, Neil and Craig were sitting on the chair, and after I auditioned, Neil said, "Have you studied Judy Garland all your life?" And I was like, "I just love her. I just love her." And I had tears in my eyes, and there were some pretty big names that they could have went for, and that would have made the film, the A-list, whatever. But they chose the girl from Bayonne that really loved her and did her best.
So what did it mean for your mom that you won an Emmy and Tony nominee for Gypsy? What does all this mean to her?
I love this interview. You're so sweet.
Good. We're already on the right path. What would have made it a bad interview if I had asked you about what?
I don't know. A bit so how was Rabbit Hole? How was Bella? How was We Were the Mulvaney's?
No, I want to talk about Bayonne. I want to talk about your people.
I like showing people who I am. My mom was so happy. She was on set every day in Toronto, and there's a big joke because it would always be like, "The mom's in the way," because I would want my mom to stand near the camera if I was singing a song or something. I'd want to look at her for the inspiration and stuff. So she was always in the way, but she had a ball. She was just in heaven.
So has she seen you yet in How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying?
No, because I know from Gypsy that you don't want anyone there until opening.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Because previews are horrible. I mean, our show is pretty lucky because we have a pretty great show already from day one.
Everyone in town is saying, I saw the show, and it's a hit. I mean, this is an amazing show.
No doubt.
So no one is saying bad things about How to Succeed in Business.
No way.
So this is a good preview period.
Oh, yeah. But as far as I know, I mean, the first day I had my mom there for Gypsy on the first day of preview, and my dress fell off before I even started speaking. So I was walking around doing the whole strip. There was nothing to strip off. I was just naked. So it was so embarrassing. And I was like, no, I just want everyone to wait until opening night and after.
Let's talk about Daniel Radcliffe. What are the crazy fans like? What's the stage door like?
The stage door for me is like, I'm signing autographs, and then they say, "Your voice is so beautiful," and then someone says, "You played Rosemary, right?" And no, I was Hedy. Oh, That's what the stage door is like for me. So I'm like, you know what? I better just start moving. But they love him, and they should. They should love Daniel Radcliffe because he's an inspiring individual, not only because of his talents, but because of who he is. And he's a good young man for young people to look up to. Yes, and he's very smart, and there's no ego, and he's a hard worker. And you need that in a leader because we follow.
Right.
Whoever's in the lead. I mean, if you have an ego or if you're hardworking, everyone around you will start to get defensive and lazy. But Daniel he's great.
So now you are playing Hedy La Rue.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, I was blown away by your performance. It is so funny and sexy. And I felt like you had this really original take on it. So tell me what you love about her. First of all, she's the mistress of the big boss.
She's the mistress of Mr. Bigley, who is John Larroquette, who I had a crush on when he was in Night Court. So I remember that feeling, and I can stir it up really fast.
And now you're singing a love song with him.
He sings a love song to me, right. And then I get into it with him, and it's great.
Gorgeous body. She walks in a room. I mean, your entrance is incredible. Let's talk about the walk. I love your Hedy walk.
It's pigeon-toed, right? Because that's what I want to do. If you came a night, then it was something else. I was trying something that I don't want to do.
She seems a little, it's interesting how she carries her body. She's really sexy, but she's also a little awkward, which I love.
This is why, because I feel like, to go in and play sexy is one thing, but to go in and let others make the decision for themselves if they think you're sexy or not. She walks because this pigeon-toed thing that I do, and it's almost like I'm jumping out of my body. I mean, I'm always excited. Yeah. She's always excited and thrilled and pepped up and happy to be there and happy for the opportunity, and that's me. Like, I'm happy to be here right now. I can't believe you wanted to do an interview with me. I'm like, that's so cool. And any opportunity that I get in life, I'm just so happy and excited, and I want to bring that to people and to Hedy, and they're letting me do it.
My friend, you reminded him a little bit of Jane Mansfield. Were there any bombshells that sort of inspired you at all? Did you look back at any of those women?
I did. I looked up our wonderful Marilyn Monroe. Yeah. I wanted to know her story because I think that behind every bombshell is a sad story.
Right. Just like behind every stripper is a sad story.
It's true.
Same difference.
It's true, and these women, some women, they're so beautiful and they're so voluptuous as young girls that grown men take a liking to them and take them in their lives and wine and dine them. And it almost gets to the point where they don't know any other way.
Right.
And I feel like that's where Hedy, the character, is. I mean, I feel like she's working at the Copa and a businessman, Mr. Bigley, takes interest in her. She thinks maybe he'll take care of her for the rest of her life. Maybe this is her shot.
And she becomes a secretary with zero skills.
Yes.
The bit with the typewriter is genius.
Oh,
you and a typewriter and the paper. And
right.
Great moment. Great moment. You'll see when you see the show. And what about the look? Do you like, you get into drag, you get into Hedy drag?
I know. At first I did. I felt like a drag queen. I was like, do I look like a man? I feel like a man. Am I a man? But I know that's why gay men love me anyway, because I could be like a drag queen, and I love that. But I have very broad features like my father. But I'm warming up to the whole bouffant because, it is 2011 and us girls don't like bouffants really. So I'm getting used to it and being able to move my head around because it's like 10 pounds and all that stuff. But I'm getting used to it. And in Gypsy, obviously you were incredibly sexy doing your striptease. Do you like playing these sexy parts? I have no idea that I'm even doing it. You just show up, put on the stuff, and do it. I'm like, what am I sexy? What? I come from playing Judy Garland as a 13-year-old that they said she wasn't really cute or anything, Like, all my life, I've always been, like, not the prettiest girl in the class or whatever, kind of, like, geeky in the drama club, like, not really cool or anything, or pretty or anything like that. You weren't the hottest girl in Bayonne? No, I wasn't the hottest girl in Bayonne. Who was the hottest girl in Bayonne? I'm not mentioning names. Stripper? Is she a stripper? I don't know what she is, but she tanned a lot, and she's probably paying for it now. I loved Sam Mendes' production of Gypsy.
And you
Good
talked
for
about
you.
the preview period, and it was a tough preview period because it was not the traditional Gypsy production that Broadway was used to seeing. You guys rethought a lot of things. It felt very fresh. So a lot of the classic sort of theater goers really, during previews, were like, what the hell's going on? It's a little different. The lights are different. The costume's different.
Right.
So did you feel that? How did that feel for you guys in the show?
As far as what other people were saying, we were just happy to be there and to be experiencing what we were experiencing, because Sam Mendes really took that and made that real. It was
Absolutely.
not a Broadway play. It was a film on stage.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was rough for me because of the emotions that were involved. I mean, feeling neglected by your mother, and then rising to the top in any desperate way you can, and then having to rid her out of you. I mean, it was all just, it was a dramatic experience, as well as, it was thrilling because it was my first time on Broadway and I was really excited, but it really was doing something that wasn't very easy every night. But I had Bernadette Peters there, and I was blessed, and I learned so much from her. It's incredible. I didn't know how much I learned from her until I started back on stage as Hedy.
Wow.
And then I realized, oh, she taught me so much. I mean, just the confidence that I have from being on stage with her and knowing how to maneuver on stage, knowing how to move a crowd, knowing that I can look into the crowd and talk to the crowd, and when to do that, and when to be with the other person on stage. It's just, she taught me so much.
Did you keep in touch with Bernadette?
No, because I think it was really actually a lot of that emotion that we lived with every day. We love each other and we respect each other and we adore each other, but we did not allow each other to get too close.
Interesting.
Because every night we had to go out there and play something that had to feel real. But I'll always love her, and I'll always be so grateful for everything she did for me.
So it stayed a very professional relationship.
Yes.
That's interesting. Most people, if I ask that question, they would bullshit and say, oh, yeah, we talk all the time.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
Why
People
would
like to think that, the casts are best friends and go on forever, but
Well,
but you've already said beautiful things about her and,
Oh, my
how
God.
much she helped you.
she's the best, but it's like even with when you're doing drama, it's really hard to get close to people because you have to stay in that, vibe with them when you're on set or on
Right.
stage with them so that it's real.
Right.
And you can't be all chummy with someone that you have to yell at in an hour. I mean, and really feel that. I mean,
Right.
that's how I worked it. That's how I work.
That's
A lot of people
interesting.
don't work that way.
Did you get to see the most recent Gypsy revival?
No,
You
are
didn't-
you
you didn't
kidding
see
me?
it.
I'll never see anyone play Mama Rose again. No offense. No. I can't do it. I
Yeah.
will never do it. Because my Bernadette was the best Mama Rose that ever lived.
She was incredible.
She was incredible. She was real and honest and deep.
Absolutely. And you were incredible, and you got a Tony nomination.
Thanks. How did that happen?
How was Tony night?
It was fun. I knew I wasn't going to win. So I just went, I got my hair done and my makeup done, I put on a pretty dress, and I went and I enjoyed the experience. It was great.
You learned how to be a great stripper in Gypsy. Have you used those skills in life since the show?
No, I haven't had time. I had a 3-year-old though, so maybe they helped a little bit.
Yeah, you had a 3-year-old since then, so there might have been some stripping involved.
But when I did Gypsy, I think that Sam Mendes really wanted a Louise, because when I was waiting to go in, I was curled up in a ball, and Arthur Lawrence and Stephen Sondheim was sitting next to me, and he said, "That's my Louise," because I was so scared. So for me, that was really learning about my sexuality and over the course of that year, and really falling into accepting that I can be sexy and am sexy, because I never really indulged in that. But
Right.
yeah.
So because of Bayonne, because you weren't the
Because of
stripper.
Bayonne. We were too busy struggling.
So you brought up your daughter. Tell me about her.
My daughter's Ava Jean. She's
Is she awesome?
blonde hair and green-eyed, and she's a doll. She's such a sweetie. I mean, she'll let kids take something from her and she won't fight them back. Like, she'll forgive them instantly. No, Mommy. Or if she has a toy and a total stranger comes over to her and really loves it, she'll give it to them.
Wow.
I mean, she's just born beautiful. So I'm so lucky, yeah.
Well, that must be all your influence, right?
That's God. That's gone.
She was born that way, like Lady Gaga, born that way.
Yeah, yeah. You know, she could be she could end up a Lady Gaga. She loves to sing and she loves to dance, and I hope she does. I hope she rocks it.
Is she going to come see the show, or can she not sit still in a theater seat?
Oh, she loves it. I took her to see a Bayonne High School play, Christmas Carol, and it was great. And
let's give a plug. It was a good production at Bayonne High School.
Great. Bayonne High School Christmas Carol production.
And she sat through it.
And she sat through it. She sat on my lap the whole time, amazed. And so Neil says she can come and sit in the box, and I'll bring her one day with Grandma when I know it's okay, when I'm done.
Once previews are over.
Once previews are over. It's true.
Did you do shows at Bayonne High?
Yeah, the first full play I did was Dorothy in Bayonne High School. We did like 4 shows, and people were standing all over, and it was in the Jersey Journal. It was like a big deal that some girl was playing Dorothy, like to the T. So by the time we got to like our 4th show, it was just huge. And I was signing autographs as Judy Garland afterwards. And my boyfriend at the time was so mad. He was like, "We gotta go home," Bayonne guy. And I'm like, and I looked at him, I was like, maybe you're not the one for me. But I'm signing these things, Judy Garland, and it was like surreal. It was surreal. Because my first solo was Somewhere Over the Rainbow when I was like, I don't even remember if it's 10 or 8, but she's always been a presence in my life, a force. And then to have that moment where I'm playing her, it was just incredible.
So we need to come up with some sort of maybe like one-woman show on Broadway, or like a Judy Garland show.
You want it? You got it. If it ever happens, then I'm ready. And if not, whatever.
So all the people in Bayonne, do they know that you're back on Broadway? The neighborhood?
A lot of them.
Will they all come see the show?
Yes. My neighbor, Mary, just told me that she's coming April 6th. So, you know, and Fred across the street, "How the show going?" "It's going great. I'll get there as soon as I can." "How much is it? $100? Oh my God. Can you get me a complimentary ticket?"
A twofer?
A twofer. Yeah. But they'll make it. They'll make it.
Well, everyone should see it after previews are over.
Yeah. Don't come yet.
Well, previews are almost over.
I'm still working on some stuff.
You are incredible in the show. You were the highlight for me. I loved it.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for coming by. And everyone, make sure you check out How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, starring Daniel Radcliffe and Tammy Blanchard. Thanks for watching. See you next week.